Welcome again to another episode of Back to the Past. I'm Blair. Today I'm going to try to salvage what's left of my garden. It was doing really well. I got to enjoy some spinach out of it. The peas got to where I was getting peas on the pod, and then deer and rabbits came in and just pretty much destroyed everything. Took them a while before they decided to start eating the potatoes, but they've done that too. The watermelons have come back a little. The tomato plants look like they're trying to come back around. So what I'm going to do now is to put up a solar powered electric fence around it and see if I can salvage anything out of the garden for the rest of this season. I'd sure love to be able to get some watermelons and tomatoes, and potatoes I've got a feeling will probably recover and do just fine. First thing I need to do is go up and grab the mower and try to mow the immediate area around it, and then get some steel drive stakes and get those driven in the ground, and then I can string wire after that. Well, darn, I thought I had everything I needed here to complete this project and get it running, but I don't. Plenty of fence posts that were left by the previous owner, and I thought there were a couple of ground rods that were left by him too, that I can't seem to find. So I'm going to have to run into town and grab a ground rod before I can actually start this. I'll go ahead and get started with driving the fence posts and stringing the wire around it and putting in some electric fence gates. Next, the insulators, and then I'll string some wire. I think I'm just about as hot as I care to get. It's pretty doggone humid. You know, all the complaining that I did about getting too much rain, we'd actually gone about the last 5 weeks without a single rain, and we were almost in a setting of drought. In fact, I've had to water the trees and garden the last couple days, but this morning we were fortunate to get about an inch of rain and came down at a nice steady rate and really did a lot of good, I think. But it makes for high humidity now, and with the temperature, I think it's in the mid 80s probably. It's a pretty sweaty job, so I think I'm going to cool down and run into town and get that ground rod, and then I'll come back. Maybe I'll put it in and get this thing going yet today. Rod driven, I think it's a 4-foot ground rod driven about 2 feet into the ground. All I've got to do is hook this up and turn it on. I think it's mainly deer that's been getting into this. I know the tops of my trees are getting mowed off. Yesterday I was real proud because my tomatoes were doing a pretty good job of coming back, but it looks like something got into them last night and nibbled the tops right off of them, so I may not get a tomato. Watermelons are still looking like they might make it. The potatoes are looking like they might make it. I think I'll try replanting beans one more time just to see if they'll come back. But I'm not really depending on getting much out of the garden this year. I'll go ahead and cover it with wood chips over the winter. I may plant some garlic or onions in here over the winter. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. All I got left then is to clamp on to the electric wire and fire it up, and we'll see if it works. Now, I'll guarantee you that if my dad was here, he did some really wild and crazy things. He loved electricity. Hi, Gab. He loved electricity, and he always said that it made his joints feel real good afterwards, but I've seen him several times grab a hold of an electric fence and just kind of, his body would bounce and pulsate as the power went through the fence. He'd do the same thing with an automobile. If you wanted to know if you had a current to a spark plug or not, he'd pull off that spark plug wire, stick a bare copper wire or steel wire in the end of it and grab a hold of that, and you'd fire up the car, and you just see his body pulsate every time that doggone engine came around. And like I say, he always thought that it felt so good afterwards, made his joints feel good. So anyway, that was something crazy my dad would do. No way that I'll do it. I'm scared to death of an electric fence. So anyway, time to turn it on and we'll see what happens. Gabby, that's a little bird. That's a songbird. That's a good one. Yeah, you're not going to catch it anyway. Here we go. And I've got a green light flashing, so we've got current according to this. We'll see if the critters get into it or not. I may have to adjust the heights of these wires or something here in a few days, depending on what's getting in here. I may even have to hook up a game cam, see exactly what's getting into it. Anyway, that's it for this episode. A pretty short one. Glad you're here with me. See you on the next one.